Bum, 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 bum. Alrighty, everybody. Hello, everybody out in internet land. Hopefully, everybody is having a good Friday. Happy Friday for anybody whose work week actually ends on Friday. Oh. Let's see here. Where are we at? Got this. Good here. Okay. All right. It's gonna be a desperate attempt to try to get work done today. Is gonna be the theme of the stream, because I had to take care of some nonsense this morning. Ended up taking up my entire morning. So now it's kind of the cram writing time in. So I think we are going to dive into our sprints here pretty quick. So I'll probably hang out here for a couple more minutes before diving in. I got looks like that podcast dropped this morning, so I had to, of course, go show everybody the podcast I was on, or at least announce it to the world. Announce the podcast to the world, where I rant about movies. But yeah, if you end up checking it out, it's called Make Me Watch. Two guys, an old friend of mine runs as part of it, but I highly recommend listening to their podcast if you like movies and just want to know more about kind of the process behind it and all that kind of stuff. How it's made, like some critiques and reviews of it, that sort of stuff. But they pull some really good stuff out of there. So, all right. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna double run ads here really quick. I don't think anyone's here, so, or at least not a lot of folks who are gonna get bothered by it. Oh nope, not snooze. Do not want snooze. Nope. I fucked up. Oh god. What have I done? I do. Okay. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can just burn all 3 snoozes. There we go. And then that should time. Okay, yeah, that should time the pre-rolls off, so it's all about dancing around the pre-roll. All right. Bum bum bum. Okay. We're almost ready. I'm actually going to shift over music early. And let's go ahead and get this party started. It's going to be Spooky Tunes stream. So hopefully that doesn't mess up anybody or the vibes. So we're going to have some spooky music. Oops. Oof, almost closed OBS. That's not good. All right. Let's kill that. And away we should be able to go. Cool. All right. Okay, 10 minutes in. We're just going to dive in. We got lots of work to get done today. So, for everybody out there who is writing, good luck. I hope the words treat you well. And we'll see y'all on the flip side. Happy writing, everybody. And away we go. Alrighty, everybody. That is the end of our first sprint. Oh, hello, Princess. And Princess has things that she wants to say. Alright. I know. Alright, we start the down timer. Hopefully, the words were treating you well. Rune Wolf, hopefully you are doing well. I know that you are working on your Oz thing, which is super cool. So hopefully sounds like you're making great progress on that. And I figured out my names in that sprint and sort of figured out. Still trying to really figure out the crux of these characters. Got a lot there, but I need to get down into like deeply what's going on with them. What's their primary problem? It's kind of what I'm figuring out now before I do too much of the plotting. I've got some ideas, like some creepy scenes, some good plotting stuff, but it's really just kind of coming down to like figuring out what these characters are struggling with. And I know the two big things, so it's because I want their struggles to kind of dictate the major plot points, or at least the big things narratively that need to happen, instead of set the plot points and then have their struggles kind of, because sometimes those two things can butt up against each other, and I'd rather the narrative structure be propelled by their personal kind of what they're dealing with inside, what they're being forced to deal with, than just complying with certain like plot points and plot beats. That's the big thing I'm trying to avoid. So just figuring that out at the moment, but it's all right. This will actually seems like it'll turn into a pretty productive day, which is pretty good. We'll see how the rest of it goes. All right, we're gonna run ads to get, hopefully that solves the pre-roll problem. So stretch, get yourself something to drink, move around a little bit before we start our next sprint. All right, we'll see you back here shortly, everybody. Be right back. I know, Princess. I know. Down. There we go. All right. Let's get some more water. Viv the dream. Alright, where are we at? Are we done? Ah, good. Perfect timing. Ads are over. Ads are over. Okay. We're gonna restart the music. Don't think that's gonna bother anyone. Alright, why don't we... Where are we at? 2 minutes? Alright. Stretch. Figure life out. Alright. Like, literally woke up this morning and right in the middle of doing everything, I saw that Kendrick dropped a new album, so I'm sure I'm gonna have to listen to that. Bum, bum, bum. What is this? Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, Princess is back. Come on. Come on up. Just come on up and get settled before we start the next sprint. Come on. Come here, Princess. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come on. We got this. Oh, there you go. Good job. You did it. Oh. Oh. Oh, there you go. See, you even have your own emote about screaming into the mic. Yeah, gunk. You can get that gunk out of your eye. There we go. Okay, where's my... Anything I can do to, like, do that? Let me see here. I know. Give me 1 second. I'll find something to do to get that. I know. You always get those eye boogers. I know. Come here. Oh. There we go. There we go. I just don't want that near your eye. See? Just like that. Yep. Now it's all clean. Alright, there you go. There you go. There you go. There we go. On stream, cleaning out the eye boogers. There you go. There you go. Hopefully it shouldn't bug you. Hopefully that won't bug you as much anymore. Oh, yes. Hello. There you go. All right, so you can lay down. Oh. All right, lay down. Get settled. It's almost time to sprint. Go ahead and get settled. There you go. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's see. Pre-roll is off for 55. Everything's timed right. All right, let's dive in. Sprints 2.0. Let's go get the words done. Happy writing, everybody. And we will catch you on the other side. And away we go. You're fine. All right. And that's the end of that sprint. Bam. All right. How you doing, Ghostly? Yeah. It's been a weird day for that. There's been a couple of those today. So, patience is gone. So, I have zero patience anymore. That's a yikes. Yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens. I was probably too harsh, but I'm tired. Tired. I've already had to do adulting today, so I'm not in a mood. My friend Blue says hi. We'll say hello to Blue for all of us. But how goes it? How goes it? How goes the working? Nah, give him the axe. Ghostly's just like bringing judgment upon thee. All. Are you doing like work or writing? Is your friend Blue a writer as well? Do you like co-work alongside each other as writers? Because that's pretty neat. That's nifty. Pull out the hey man, we are we're socialists here. 100% on board with that. Or at least I am. I'm all about the guillotine. Ugh. Anyway. Ugh. All right. I am. I had an idea, and I'm struggling with it because it's like I had the idea that the thing that ties her to like the main character to the moon and like the doppelganger it causes like she's like struggled with this vertigo thing, and I just randomly had the idea that as the doppelganger takes more and more of like her personality and steals more of her life, that the vertigo starts to go away because I thought that was interesting. Uh, and kind of adding a little bit to like the duel, like does she want her life back, like she's like being cured of the vertigo but she's losing her life in the process. It gives it like kind of a push and pull that's interesting, but I don't know if that works. Also, it's might be too external. It might be too external of like an inner conflict. So I'm bouncing around. I got too many conflicted feelings, so I'm not sure yet. Not sure. The other ones I think I've got figured out. They're pretty simple. She wrote a very good short story about an office worker who tries to find a missing, who tries to find a missing male boy who has just happened to befriend Bigfoot, who speaks in sign language. Um, Oh, I like that. It's just happened to befriend Bigfoot who speaks as I adore it greatly, but she says she isn't a writer. If she wrote a short story, she's a writer. That's how this works. You are a writer. Whether or not you want to pursue writing is a different thing, but that she is by default at that point a writer. That's exciting. Maybe it's interesting. It creates an interesting conflict for what she's trying to achieve, and like wow, it could create an interesting like thematic thing um where like losing your sense of self includes losing this sort of debilitating illness. Like it's like, are you willing to give up large swaths of yourself just to be free of this thing? Like there are interesting questions that come from that. um Whether or not this is the right way to do it is, it'd be interesting. It would definitely be interesting. It would definitely, the one thing I will say that, and this is like feeding character into plot, the one thing I will say that it makes easier is having her be more active and less debilitated towards the end of the story. So it lets her be a little bit more like proactive and not quite as crippled. Um, while like things are occurring, while like the tension of the story itself is rising. So it does do some interesting things there, but I'm not sure if that's where I want to go with it. But she didn't finish it, but yes, she's a writer. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Say that award-winning filmmaker and streamer Wildlight says that you are a writer. Anyway, so the question is, what exactly do you want to do with it? That's a good question. I mean, is like, yeah, what is outside of all the other things I'm trying to say with this story, or at least trying to like point a finger at, like like ask a question. She said, "Wow, award winning." That is the proper response that anyone should have to that statement. She's listening along. Good, good. The wow award winning is absolutely the appropriate response. If you ever hear that, it's all branding bullshit, and that is that needs to trigger the bullshit meter for sure. But yeah, that is the question, right? Is like what is it? So if I'm pointing, if I'm really trying to, if I'm gonna like dive into that split, what am I trying to get at? What am I trying to say? What am I trying to ask? What's like the big question there? And does it relate? The big thing is, does it relate to all the other things that are all the other things that I'm trying to say with it? So the idea of like deep alienation society, yeah, the bigger questions, yeah, the broader existential questions, the idea of what it means to be objectified, have your persona, or to hand yourself. I mean, it could be interesting that like curing a debilitating disease, like, or not disease, it's not a disease, but like a facet of your life that is debilitating you, or debilitating to you, that you see as a flaw and does limit your ability to engage with the world. um to be tempted to hand that over to a a a personified version of yourself perfected, like a personified version of yourself perfected, a la, because obviously I'm making a play about social media here. I'm like about objectification, sexualization, and all that kind of stuff. um the idea of handing yourself up, like literally giving yourself away, what makes you you, to this sort of what is becoming a homogenized version of this expression of yourself in society, through the way that like beauty standards have not just beauty standards, but like lifestyle standards through things like social media and TikTok and Instagram and all that, how those things can express themselves, and it almost like feel like they're taking away individuality for a sort of homogenized commodity to be expressed, sold, and consumed, increasingly so by like reactionary, very socially maladjusted people, both men and women, but primarily men. um is I you know what, there might be something there. There might be something there. The more I talk through it, there might be something there. Maybe. Sorry. Anyway, sorry, I was like babbling on out loud. Anyway, Ghostly thinks sometimes you can just say things that don't have follow through. I mean, that's fine too. That's fine too. That is that, yeah, you don't. I mean, it's where you want your audience member to focus their critical thinking skills. You want it to be, it's kind of, where do you want them to suss out the questions that you're trying to ask? And then if you're just trying to make a statement and you don't want it to be deeply questioned or like really make the audience work to get to it, then yeah, then you could just say it without any follow through. I think you're right, Ghostly. I don't think that's a problem. Also, the wizard wrote, "I'm in tears." Oh yeah, yeah. I figured I needed to give the cat sweater a break. my Junji Ito cat sweater. So, and I was like, it's been too long since I've done the wizard robe, and it's cooler now. It's very nice. Um, Ghostly literally just said to her friend, he needs to say this out loud. He's like me. He's thinking through it verbally, and then you said that. Oh, gotcha. That's true. That's true. Sometimes I do. I mean, this is a process. This is what I do. I do literally talk to myself when I'm thinking. So, you know, it's it comes from half the time when I was in school, when I would write like essays or response essays. I would have to talk through my arguments while I was writing the paper. Because it's funny, like, how often that actually worked in philosophy. I would actually have to talk through it while I was writing it in order to actually have to go back and readjust my opening argument and my thesis. For whatever reason. That's my life. That's how this works. We are your void. you are the abyss. Ghostly, you are the abyss. Uh, and I stare in. You all out there in chat in internet land are the abyss, and when I gaze into you, so too do you all gaze into me, and thus the cosmic balance is upheld in said internet land. Anyway, okay. Ghostly, the Bob Ross. Bob Ross. Next break, I want to pick your brain on my folk horror since you had go pretty quick yesterday. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, this is actually the last sprint of the day, so because we started earlier today, so or I didn't start. I started. There was just no 30-minute intro, so we can. Do you want to pick? You can pick my brain now. That's fine. We can delay starting the sprint. It's fine. We can delay starting the sprint. What do you want? What do you want to ask? I've got time. There was just nobody. It was just a quiet. Oh, was it actually scary? What was scary? What was? Oh. You want to ask if your folk horror was scary? How did I spook? Got it. Yeah, I think so. I think. I think. Yes. So your descriptions of your Starman, I think, elicit a visceral reaction, like a creepy, dark, but unsettling. But because it's almost comedically, I actually think the way that you describe it, like Gumby, makes it even creepier because it feels like an uncanny version of something you would find endearing as a kid. So I think that dissonance works to your advantage. Let me see. Is it creepy? Was it actually scary? I'd say it's creepy. You haven't gotten it to where I'm scared yet, but I do think it's creepy. Now, to be fair, we went directly from that into your noir intro, which is not scary at all, which is you were doing very like beat noir vibes. But your intro is more creepy than I would say scary. Although I'd say the way that you describe the Starman's star appendages like vibrate, that was a little unsettling. That was a vibe. That definitely freaked me out. But see, I might be a bad person to ask because in literature it's very hard for me to feel actually scared of a thing. Like creepy is a thing. Like I definitely will feel creeped out. And I think that you did that well with the Starman at the very beginning. But it's not scary. There are very few things in literature that have scared me, have actually been like that, like really freaked me out. If you want, the intro to a book that I really really like, that I actually, if I could ever adapt it into a movie, I would, called Echo. Um, Welcome in, Blue of Green. Welcome in. I was definitely so creeped out. Are you the blue of which ghostly speaks? Um, I also did not realize I was hitting the noir that hard. Ghostly has never seen a noir movie. Booker is more of just a dude without purpose and very. You are hitting the noir very hard. That is very very hard. You little biscuit, indeed. Well, welcome in, Blue of Green. Welcome in. Welcome. You do not need to be here. The Inception. I support test streamer. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But welcome, yeah, welcome in, welcome in. Any friend of a ghost is a friend of the channel and of mine. I think, um, hmm. Honestly, I feel like if you wanted to really freak me out, I think I'd, and you kind of do it a little bit with the main character, is a loss of, and this is just for me, like a fundamental loss of control, or the ability to move, because if I recall correctly, I might be wrong, so definitely lambast me if I'm wrong, but um she closes her eyes and she's like powering through, not running away. But if you take that choice away from her, in a way, like if she can't move, or if something is like something that's like claustrophobic or something like that. This might be my own personal thing, but I'm trying to think why the opening chapter of a book called Echo really hit me. And that was because it's so well captures hiding under the covers and having something literally crawling over your bed, and it's described in such a visual way that actually did scare me. Um, Something like that. Like that's kind of yeah, it's like it's like that. It's like clearly dead people. It's very clear like shadow dead people moving up through the house towards the bed. And like feeling like you can't go anywhere and all you can do is like hide under the covers. That's like that kind of trapped claustrophobic thing, because you don't even know if these things mean you any harm. It's just they're approaching you in this really horrifying way. And the way it's described is very visceral. So that I feel like that would make it more scary to me, unless you want to lean more creepy, because you've successfully made it creepy. That's an impressive mustache. Thank you, thank you. It is a stash that I have, that I do somewhat work hard at. I work out the mustache from time to time. Just gotta just if such a thing were possible. Um, I'm going to be more of a creep vibe anyway. Not yeah. Okay, then I think you're doing fine, Ghostly. Then I think you're doing fine. Also, how old did she read? That's been a mixed bag. I was thinking like 16, 17. Maybe it's just that's the vibe I got, is kind of like I don't know how young she was supposed to be, but I that felt like something of like a 16 or a 17-year-old kid, like a high school kid. Um oh no. That's what everyone has said. Oh no. What age did you want, Ghostly? Ooh, hate. Oh yeah, the bet. Yeah, it's really creepy. It's that book, the book Echo, like fresh 20. Okay, I mean that's not super far off. There is not a big difference between there's I mean, well, maybe this is just me, but I feel like it's like almost practically they're just they're they're all babies in my brain. Um but she's kind of babied. Okay. God, yeah, how do you distinguish the voice between a 16 or a 17-year-old like high school person and a person who's like 20? When I look back when I was 20, see that's the problem, is when I look back between 20 and 16, that's like almost there's very I mean, I was driving. I guess the fact that I was not in high school anymore would be one. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's very hard. Those are like practically, they're all just like you were a child. Anyway, Twilight, that was 3,000 years ago for you. Thanks, Ghostly. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, it was a while ago for me. Yes, that is true. It's been a hot minute. I wanted to move out at 20, but oh, okay. See, okay, so this might be the problem too, is I was broadly couch surfing. I was broadly popping around. I spent the last 2 years of high school, very much so my senior year, or my junior year, my senior year of high school, very much couch surfing, crashing on my. So I wasn't not living at home. The last 6 months of my senior year, I stayed at my. I did move home, kind of, sort of, like where my mom had gotten a townhome, and so I was crashing there. Um, but I was kind of popping around. I was like sleeping out of my car after work between high school and there, 16, 17, and 18. So it wasn't really the only difference was that I had left there. I had left and gone to the mountains and was in school, um, in 18, but I wasn't living at home really. So it's very hard for me to like. That might also be part of the problem. It's just hard for me to parse out. My life didn't change, or at least my fundamental worldview and how I compose myself did not change much between 16 and 20. It also plays to my benefit though, because Ghostly wants the age difference to feel gross. Okay, interest. The age difference to feel gross, and her Naive exterior, I think that adds. Oh, the age difference between her and the guy. The guy she's trying to save, the alcoholic. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, I think yeah, I see what you're trying to get at. Okay. Um well, your age different you're or oh, no. Oh. Oh, not the alcoholic guy. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's different. Oh, that's a I mean, I will say this though. That's not a bad point of entry though. Blue. Um Blue of Green. Um Oh, the girl in Booker. Oh, yeah, that's gonna feel you're gonna feel that. Um Oof. Yeah, you're gonna feel that, Ghostly. That's I mean, you wrote Booker to fun. Yeah, I mean, you wrote Booker to be older than me, right? Didn't you put Booker in like was Booker in his 40s or was Booker in his late 30s? Or early 30s. What year? Oh, no, no, no. Okay, okay. So it's a 7-year difference. Wait. Booker's in his 20s? Oh, wow. You, man, Booker read older than 27. Jesus Christ. Okay. I thought Booker was old. Oh, like older. That is whoo. Yeah, yeah, Ghostly, you got to pull back on that noir thing. You were writing like man has been married vibes. Ghostly doesn't know what she's doing. It's not it's fine, Ghostly. It's fine. It's fine. You're all you need. Okay. Okay. I oh man, divorced twice. I don't know about that many times, but like I'm thinking like the long goodbye. The way you wrote, and maybe pulling back on the noir vibes will be enough for this. Um, I think that'll be enough to do this. Hey, princess, I know you want to say hello, um, but I think the noir things are definitely adding to the age perception for sure. Um, yeah, if okay, all right. So 27 I 27 is like you can be an alcoholic at 27. That is possible. That's not completely but I don't know if you're going to be quite like that. You got a little bit yeah. 27-year-olds are still going out. You know, they're not how do I what's like I mean, he was clearly going out to dive bars, but yeah, that's still the I don't know, man. The way you wrote Booker's way older. I was getting like I thought you were writing I Ghostly, I thought you were writing Booker to be older than me. I thought Booker was in his 40s. That's where I was placing Booker. Like early 40s. Like like either my age or older. Not 20s. Not 7 years older than that. Okay, breakdown. Hadley is 20. Okay, her older brother Oil is 32. Booker is 27 and Rhett is 25. Fascinating. That's a big egg. Yeah, yeah. That's why I was gonna say you're gonna feel that age difference. You're gonna massively feel that age difference. Um, yeah, yeah. Don't. I'm trying to. I'm trying to think how you could position that. I was a louse back in my 20s. I definitely was 27. I could definitely hit the bottle pretty hard. But I definitely was not I definitely didn't talk like that. Definitely, and I don't know too many people who were. Um, hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, That's tricky, Ghostly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You might have written. I don't think Hadley's a problem, and that might just be because I'm so It's giving 27-year-old drama king. I mean that is about as like that. Yeah, I think the only time I've ever tried to do that is like when I was trying to do like Blade Runner, and my buddy and I were eating noodles and drinking scotch and like smoking and like being like, yeah, we're sad and lonely and watching the rain, and we did that at like 23. But that's just because we were pretentious asshats. But like, like I mean, yeah. I don't think Haley's a problem, to be honest with you. I mean, that might feel bigger, but I honestly don't. I think between like upper high school and like 20, those are pretty similar in terms of like I think mentally how you would write that person. I don't think there's a big jump there, except for maybe like the independence, the more wild nature of like someone might be acting out a little bit more independently at that point than they would say like in high school, 17, 16. They might be kind of, their disposition might change a little bit because if their autonomy has changed, but I don't think there's a big difference there. I don't think Hadley's the problem. I think Booker, you definitely need to write Booker from a little bit different point of view there, or at least a different take on his style. The goal for Booker is just washed up and bitter. All the hopes he has been dashed, and he's just surviving at this point. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. There's two ways you can go with that. There are two ways you can go with that. The drama king, as Blue is calling it, the drama king way is doing kind of what you did. That is automatically going to read older. Particularly, it's very hard for people to associate washed up and bitter, like all your hopes have been dashed by the time you're 27. That I know some people, I don't know too many people who've given up. I know people who lament it and talk about it like, "Oh my god, I didn't achieve this thing, or this thing didn't happen at 27," but like lots of times that's the kind of talk that like anybody who's like an adult usually is just like kind of rolls their eyes at and is like, "Oh my god, like you're young." Like even when I was in my 20s, I was viscerally aware of like lamenting my age and that life hadn't turned out the way I wanted it to was being dramatic. Like it was very commonly done. The other way to do that is constantly reliving their youth or trying to relive their youth. That's the sort of like eternal child or the eternal high school mentality where they sort of constantly, they almost never like matured past high school in terms of like, because they feel like they're kind of holding on to a high that without looking to the future for anything. It's kind of like a constant looking back. It's like a constant looking back at hopes and dreams and where they were and kind of trying to ride that wave far past it already having dissipated into the ocean, kind of thing, or crashed up on the beach. The paradox of Booker is he's left his hometown to be better than where he's from, and he feels like he just burned the bridge only to end up exactly the same. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Let me think. Um, he left his home to be better than where he's from. Okay, I get that. I understand that. And he feels like he just burned the bridge only to end up exactly the same. Okay, the whole underlying goal of going back to Jessup is summed up by the line of Oils. Misery is miserable no matter where you are. It's just what flavor you can stomach best. Got it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a... Okay. Okay. Yep. Hmm. Okay. I think... I'm trying to think of because 27 is the age that I saw a lot of people burn out and go and leave LA. A lot of friends of mine, that was about the age where they did, where things like where they just sort of crashed and burned, and then went back. And I'm trying to look at how they were before they did, like how broken, up, kind of how broken they were. Um, you could in theory, to quote Pond Boys, everyone failed. Yeah. No, I got what you're getting at. Um, maybe just get rid of. I wonder if the sort of like. I was gonna say, I wonder if the one night stand thing is throwing it, but I don't know if that's necessarily the problem. That's a difficult thing. It's a difficult line you're trying to walk. I'm like trying to think what like a morning after a mistake would feel like in a not noir setting where someone's like clearly in their 40s and like washed up. You need Heather Amber there so we can get the background out of the way. Got it. Um I mean, you could make um hmm. So, Jesus, Ghostly, I don't want her there either, but she's a tool. Jesus, it's like, oh, that's some dark shit. That's a loaded statement. Um, let's see. Let's see. It's what I do. Damn. It's a unique problem, Ghostly. There is a unique problem there. I don't know. I might have to think on it, but there's an issue with how it's being seen. There is that. If that is the age difference that is there. You like toxic relationships, you can't talk. Ghostly. Ghostly. We don't need to start letting everybody get the wrong idea here, all right? We don't need to, it's just a character assassination. I tell you. I tell thee. All these out of context quotes. All right. Well, here's what we'll do. Lovely. I have a problem and no answer. Um, hey, I stand by that. That's out of context, but I stand by that quote. Okay, we're gonna run. There's gonna be 3 minutes of ads. During the 3 minutes of ads, I'm gonna think a little bit more about this problem that Ghostly's having, and then we're gonna dive into our last sprint of the evening. Um, and that's how we're gonna do that. All right. Ads rolling. We'll see you all back on the other side. Okay. Difficult. Ghostly will cue the Jeopardy theme. The problem is it's just not very realistic. That's just not how 20-year-olds, particularly 27-year-olds, act. I mean, the problem is like it feels it feels too 40s. Everybody, I mean, they wouldn't even be picking up a one night stand or a hookup. I mean, maybe like if they're, the background is they're kind of a fuck boy, and that's kind of just what they do, and they're good at it. But a lot of the people that I know, they just check out. Like they completely disassociate from their circumstances. And that can result in a sort of unfulfilling one night stand at a bar. Opera Story and I joke about this a lot because Ghost has never been 27 washed up, so yeah, she's just guessing. I know, but that's part of the. Oh, of course, Blue of Green. It has been a blast. It has been a blast. It is a pleasure to meet any friend of a ghost. Opera Story and I joke. But there was a time when Wilight downed a bottle of Jim Beam and wound up on a bridge throwing cardboard boxes at buses at 3 o'clock in the morning. And like not something quite as spazzy as that, but that probably that was a little bit earlier. That I wasn't 27 when I was doing that. I was definitely in my I was in my mid 20s, early 20s, mid 20s when I was doing that. It's just kind of like an acting out kind of thing. I thank you from All right. I have maybe the inklings of an idea. Um, and it's mostly just a change in circumstances to see if something good comes out of it. But I would say if he's washed up, and he's not in a good place, then I would have it. When you said he thought he was 40, Ghostly had a mild aneurysm. Not gonna lie. Oh, okay. My answer that could also be because the noir beats are so heavy. Yeah, aneurysm. Yeah, I gotcha. I think he probably got aged up a little bit because of how heavy the noir beats were, but I'm gonna throw this to you. Now this is not an answer. It's not a cure all, but it might make it different. It might the scene play out differently. Is I would at that case, what if you tried, or at least approached it where it was at Heather Amber's place, not his? Because now you've shifted the power a little bit. You've shifted the circumstances quite a bit, and now he feels aimless. He's in the scene, literally ungrounded. He is not on familiar territory. And then you follow him out of her place. Essentially, she boots him out. That's at least to get you thinking about the scene differently. Doesn't mean you have to do it. It doesn't even mean that that's going to answer the problem or totally fix the problem. But that is my initial impression. Is that's what I would do to show him as it puts him off. It puts him on the back heel just by his circumstances alone, like completely on his back heel. Yeah, I agree. The second chapter felt a little unfitting for the rest. That's true. That is true. It definitely, you're hitting those noir beats very hard. So that's kind of my only big thing, is the tone shift is a problem. because you can definitely get that across without it having like reading like a pulp crime novel. And then and you definitely were like hitting some of those pulp crime vibes a little bit until the end. The end was fine. The end of the way it ended when he was talking to the sister, all that stuff was fine. I feel like you nailed the tone of that perfectly. Like all that is perfect. That all that's money. Do people even say money anymore? I don't know. That used to be a thing people said. That's money. I don't even know if that's actually a phrase anymore, but that all that's good. It's the stuff leading up to that that feels a little too like crime beat detective story stuff a little bit. All right. I think it's time to dive into a sprint. This will be our last sprint as I got to run I got to run at 6:30. So I have to make sure that I am out and done by then. So, we will it could be something more literal too. He could be going to the station for a case, and perhaps they blow him off because they're like, "Who is this kid you think he is?" and blow him off. Then maybe he goes and gets a drink and is kind of sad. And Beth calls him. That's true too. Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to put it at a bar, like somewhere, like that is 100% normal. That's absolutely normal. That I would believe that any second. I would believe that. Um. Uh. Because that is what people like that did is they just go to dive bars and get drunk and wallow, and that's common of any age. 20 that would be worth for 27. But I yeah, just show him as aimless and lost is really that's the idea, is that he's not grounded anywhere. He's washed up, he's broken. So like he's in the process of losing his place. He is not stable. He is like that kind of thing. You want to show that he's untethered a little bit. He's miserable and untethered. All right. We're gonna dive into our sprints. We gotta do this. We gotta get these words done. So happy writing, everybody. We will see you on the other side. Oop, there we go. And away we go. You're fine. Buddy, I know. You're fine. right, everybody, and that is the end of that sprint. Even though the latter half was just a particular ghost talking smack. All right. Okay. Boo, boo, boo. Bring the music down just a little bit. Ghost like grabs stick. Ghost is like, I'll poke the bear, I guess, or you're just gonna beat me with a stick. Ghostly is just filling in for Opera Soria. That's fair. That is fair. This would be you are just taking over for Opera Soria in that case. All right. Well, I feel like it's gonna be working double time tomorrow on this thing. I think. Ghostly enjoys poking bears. I mean, hey, you know, growing up in Alaska, my brother definitely liked to poke bears. There's some stories about poking bears. Definitely, and poking moose too. But all I'll say is be cautious. Be cautious. Reminds me of the old days. Yeah, exactly. Immediately, Wildlight pivots into an old story about when Wildlight was young, and not quite as old. Oh, just distracting. That's fair. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to be that way this eve anyway. It's Friday night, and I've got to take care of it. The way today started, I knew I was going to have to take care of, like, boring nonsense that, you know, you have to take care of as a human being functioning in society. If only they allowed me to not function in society, things would be so much easier, and I could get away with so much more. All right. You had a feeling I would be distracted. Oh no. Oh no, that's what you were appealing to. All right, everybody. I think I'm gonna call it. I gotta go eat some food. I kid. Rude. Yeah, I'm burnt out. I'm gonna go rest. We'll see about tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure stream is gonna happen tomorrow. It depends on a couple of things. But we're gonna give it our best shot. So if not, I'll see you all next week. Next week should be pretty normal. I might not stream on Thanksgiving, but I'll stream around it because I'm not going anywhere, and it just kind of depends the vibes that I'm picking up on Thanksgiving, since I have a feeling everyone's gonna be busy those days, unless they're looking to Twitch to ignore family conversations. You never know. So we'll see about that. But all right, everybody. As always, I love you all, Ghostly. It has been a blast. It's always a blast having you give me shit while we attempt to be better writers. It's always good. All right. Take care, everybody. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Love you all.